From hearing the likes of Chalimonga say things like, saving your first $100,000 is a bitch, but you have to do it. I don't care what you have to do, even if it means walking everywhere and not eating anything that was not purchased with a coupon. He more or less insists that anyone serious about growing wealth should find a way to get their hands on $100,000, which is a lot of money for most people. He further went on to say that after that $100,000, you can ease off the gas a little bit. But the question now is, why exactly is $100,000 so significant? And why exactly does your net worth explode after you hit that first $100,000 mark? I did a little bit of research myself and have also listened to some finance creators on YouTube, which can be a great resource if you are looking for information on how to start investing. However, note that some of the advice people dish out on YouTube, TikTok, and even Instagram can sometimes be absolute garbage, which is why you should always do your own research before parting with your money. The truth is that learning personal finance and learning how to stay disciplined with money should be a priority for most people, especially in 2024. This is even more true if you did not come from money, and also because this is not a topic that is taught in schools. Sometimes your parents would not even teach you. Just like in my case, it was not something that was taught to me. But to close this gap, I turned to reading finance books and watching YouTube videos and reading articles online. And this has absolutely changed the way I view and handle money. Also, the information being shared online are mostly not new information. They are the lived experiences of so many people before you, which is proof that these things actually work and the maths work. The likes of Chalimonga, Warren Buffett, and so many other great investors who have paved the way and shown how these things can be done. Something else that I also like to do is this. I always go into the comments of videos that I watch to see what others are saying about their experiences on the topic. And this is because people often share helpful insights which can actually help you in your research when you're looking into a finance topic. So in this video, I will be sharing my thoughts on the topic of why your first $100,000 is really very important in your wealth building journey. I will also be sharing what I am doing to get my first $100,000 as a Nigerian immigrant living in Canada, as well as some key takeaways from my research. So please watch to the end, play this video at a 1.5 times speed if you like, and also hit the like button and subscribe because it is free, and on top of that, you'll get to support me. The first thing to understand is how the size of your savings and investment affects how much money you can make. This is more or less what we call the scalability of capital. So imagine you invest $100 into the stock market. What you have essentially done is to take a chance and invest in a company or maybe several companies, and after a year, let's say you make a 10% return. That means you get $10 more on your investment after 1 year. Now, $10 might not sound like a lot since many people can actually make this amount of money easily in less than an hour. So why wait for 1 year? So you risk $100 of your money and only get $10 more after 1 year, which honestly is not very exciting. And quite honestly, this is one of the things that held me back from investing my money for a very long time. Something else is that when I first got curious about the stock market, the majority of the information that I came across was about individual stocks and how they can increase by a certain percentage every year, and also the possibility of losing all of your money. And quite frankly, that scared me. And I also remember always saying to myself that the gains were not actually a significant amount of money, so why even bother in the first place? A lot of people, including myself when I first started out, look at investing in the stock market as something that can make you rich very quickly, and that is why everyone is looking for the next Amazon or Apple that will 10x their investments in a very short period of time. And what this does, especially to new investors and those who are still curious, is that it robs them of the opportunity of seeing the big picture of how investing can be of benefit to them over the long term. Now let's turn this up a little bit. So instead of investing $100, let's say you save and invest up to $100,000 in the stock market, and over the same 1 year, you get the same 10% return. You make an extra 10K, and when you add that to the amount of money you already have, that brings your total to $110,000. The interesting thing in the 100K example compared to the $100 example is that you took the same chance and you spent the same amount of time, but you got a lot more money just because you had a lot more money working for you. So time and the amount of money you invest is essential to how much money you can make. And this just shows that having more money can help you make even more money. And this is also the reason why the rich gets richer, and all we do is sit back and complain about how unfair everything is. The next and very important concept to understand is the power of compound interest. There are several ways this concept can be explained, but I think using the snowball analogy kind of does the job for me every time. So think of wealth building as though you are rolling a snowball down an endless hill. It starts small and slow, but gets bigger as it keeps rolling down this hill. and is able to gather more snow as long as it keeps rolling down. Similarly, your financial momentum continues to build up as you continue to save and invest towards your first $100,000. Essentially, your initial investments and the return on those investments are now also able to earn you more money. Here is how it works with some real numbers. Let's say you save and invest $10,000 every year and you make a 7% return on your investment. 7% is a really conservative rate because with a quick Google search, you will find that the average annual return of the S&P 500 is about 10%. So $10,000 every year at 7% compounded annually. It will take 7.84 years to reach your first $100,000. So now you have your first 100K, and if you continue to save and invest the same $10,000 every year, things actually get more exciting because after this, it will only take 5.1 years for you to go from $100,000 to $200,000. And because you have a lot more money now working for you, it will take 3.78 years for you to make your third $100,000. And then 3.01 years for you to go from $300,000 to $400,000. And only 2.5 years for you to get to your fifth $100,000. At this point, you have $500,000. Things get even more crazy from here on out because each additional $100,000 comes in a lot faster. So essentially what this all goes to prove is that the bulk of the work is done from when you start till the point when you hit your first 100K. And this is simply because most of the first $100,000 will be from your savings and not even the gains from your investments. And on top of that, you would need to have denied yourself some level of comfort and pushed a lot of your wants aside for you to make this happen. So let's say you keep going and you do not stop. It will take you 30 years for you to hit your first $1 million. And that is, you do not stop investing the $10,000 you initially started with every year. And if we break down the time period for you to get to $1 million, what you find is that it took 7.84 years for the first $100,000, which accounts for 25.5% of the total time it took for you to reach 1 million. The remaining $900,000 took 74.5% of that 30 years. This is why everybody says building wealth is hardest in the beginning. But once you hit that $100,000 financial milestone, things speed up really quickly. There are also a lot of people who have hit this financial milestone in less than 7.84 years. And what this essentially does for them is that it gives them even more time to build even more wealth. I started my financial journey about 2+ years ago, but I have actually been saving money well before that time, and I am well on track to hit my first $100,000 in less than 5 years. And what's interesting in my case is that I have never even held a job that paid me more than $50,000 a year since I started my journey. But what I have done to supplement my income and give me room to save and invest more is by working extra hours and also working a number of other side hustles that I have shared in this video. So having said all that, we have to be realistic here. Saving and investing $100,000 is no joke. For most people, this is a goal that they cannot achieve. Everybody's situation is different, but if you want to actually get there, then you have to figure out a way for you to save and invest money. You have to do it, whatever it takes, just like Charlie Munger says, and it has to also be legal. You can choose to increase your income by getting a higher paying job, pick up a second job, or even a third job. Work more hours at your current job if possible, because if you can somehow manage to get this done, you will be well on your way to financial success. And now my key takeaways. Number 1, you have to be willing to start and build your financial muscle. Save and invest consistently every month, even if it means saving only $50 every month. 2, approach investing with a long-term projection and not as something that will get you rich very quick. 3, life is not fair, but how about we take responsibility to learn the information that we need to set ourselves up for financial success. And 4, if you worked up to this point, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.